guys, welcome to my kitchen. I am Michelle, I'm with Halfway Homestead, and I am going to do some food preservation today. And actually, what I have going on today is probably going to span over a couple of days to get it all finished up. I have a sink full of frozen tomatoes. I like to, and some frozen chicken for dinner. Since my tomatoes come in just a handful at a time, I will go ahead and core them, and I put a crisscross on their bottom, and I put them in a freezer bag. And then when I'm ready to work them up into pasta sauce or salsa or just canned tomatoes, the skins slip off super easy. So I'm waiting for those to thaw so that I can get those in the roaster. This batch of tomatoes is going to be pasta sauce. And then I also have a bucket of tomatoes that I will blanch and peel and get ready to put into the roaster. The other thing I'm going to get started is I'm going to roast some pumpkins. So my pumpkins in the garden, the plants are dying prematurely, and I did have 3 Geet pumpkins. Let me bring them over to show you. Here we go. This is a Japanese pumpkin, and I did get 3, but the plant has died, and so I wanted to go ahead and get these processed. This particular one, about halfway up, has started to get soft, so I'm not sure I can salvage any of this one, but I'm hoping that I can salvage this lower half. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these up. I'm going to get them into a roasting pan and into the oven, and they'll probably roast for close to an hour. And then after that hour is up, I'll check them, see if they're fork tender, and then I'll let them cool, and I'll put them in freezer bags to use later for pumpkin pie or pumpkin bread or cookies or pasta, whatever I want to use the pumpkins for. So I'm also, let me grab a pan. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about this. So I went to an estate sale, it's probably been 3 weeks ago, and the sale had been going for a couple of weeks. This house was massive. You go in the front door and the house just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going, and the basement too. And then there was a shop building that was full of stuff. And so the day that I went, everything in the house was 90% off. I got this metal pan for 40 cents. I got a toaster oven for $2.40. The roaster, electric roaster that's on the back porch, I got it for $7.50. Let's see, what else did I get? I got some hair conditioner, which my hair is a mess right now because I was in the garden and I got too hot and sweaty and nasty, and this is what it is. I got the bottle of Biolage conditioner, I think for 40 cents. So I was able to fill the car, and Scott helped fill the car with tools and toolboxes and things. And I think all total that day, we spent, I think, $36. So it was a great day to go to that estate sale. But I'm going to use this pan for my seeds and my, I don't know if I'm going to peel these or not. Sometimes I peel the pumpkins first, and sometimes I don't. I think I might just give these a good wash and not peel them, but I do want to be able to reserve the seeds. I might save some of the seeds if I feel like they're developed enough, but I still have seeds in the packet that I bought. But anyway, whatever's left will go to the chickens, and they will love it. So I've got the oven set at 400. I'm gonna wash off this one that's kind of soft. I do use composted cow manure in my garden, so I do prefer to wash anything that comes out of the garden just to make sure there's nothing on there. seeds are rinsing off quite nicely, so I may just go ahead and roast them in the skins and then peel them later, which as part of this video, I will show you that process. It's actually raining right now. I'm so excited. I hope that it continues to rain for a while. We need a good soaking rain. The garden would love it. I had the soaker hoses going and I noticed it was raining, so I had to run out and turn off the hoses, but if it's not a good soaking rain, like if it doesn't last very long, I'll have to go turn the hoses back on. Okay, let me get, let me know if this knife will be good for this or not. We'll see. All right, I'm gonna cut below. Oh my goodness, look at that. That's a lot of seeds. This is the end that is soft. Okay. What is he doing? My neighbor just pulled through the driveway. I don't know what he's doing. Okay. I'm going to give this soft end to the chickens, but I am going to go ahead and cut it up a little bit. All right. Who knows what he was doing? Okay, I'm going to cut this end off. And I'm going to dig out those seeds. I just take a spoon, get up here close so you can see it, and just start scraping, and the seeds come right out. I'm surprised at, I don't know, I thought that the fleshy part of this would be thicker. The Geet that I grew last year rotted on the vine, so I didn't actually get any of that. Smells like pumpkin. All right, I'm gonna put these in my pan over here and keep scooping. Okay, I don't know if those seeds are developed enough to save or not. Grab the one I threw in the floor. I don't know. I think that they're, I don't know. I don't think I will, just because I have some left in the package. All right, I'm gonna keep scooping and chopping. All right, there we have it. 3 Geet pumpkins, quartered and cored. I got all the seeds out. Okay, I did end up having to use another pan because they wouldn't all fit. All right, so I'm gonna let that go for about an hour. Let's see, it is 11:45 right now, so about 12:45 or so I will check them, and I like to roast them with the the fleshy side up. That allows some of the moisture to steam out and not be caught inside the flesh. It also allows the fleshy parts to caramelize a little bit, and I think that makes for a really tasty pumpkin pie. If I turned them over, you know, flesh side down, then that steam would kind of accumulate in there and it would make for a very wet pumpkin. And I don't like that because then I would have to drain that. And so whatever steps I can take up front to make it less work for later, then I'm all for that. So the next thing I want to look at is going out into my garden, I noticed not only are my pumpkin plants dying, but so are my cantaloupe. And I went ahead and harvested every cantaloupe that was out there, mostly because they're teeny tiny and they're soft. And so I want to cut a couple of these open after I wash them, of course. And let's just see if these are salvageable. There has only been 1 year in my gardening career that I have grown cantaloupes successfully. And that was our very first garden at our previous property. We had so many cantaloupes that we were giving them away, and they were delicious, the best cantaloupes. And sadly, we have never been able to do it again. Well, it looks good on the inside. Okay, let me get these seeds out. Chickens will love those for sure. And let's give it a taste. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the rind off. Ugh. That is not good. They look like they'd be good. They don't smell good. And they don't taste good. I'm going to cut open a couple more to see if maybe in this basket, let me show you the basket. In this basket of baby cantaloupe, plus a few more laying on the countertop. We'll see if there's anything salvageable. I dropped some of that in the floor. I'll have to sweep and mop in a little bit. And, I don't know. Chickens might be getting a whole lot of cantaloupe. I'm gonna cut this apart. That's so sad. I don't know if it was the heat that got them or the bugs. We are really struggling with squash bugs. All right, this one's pretty green on the outside, but we'll try and see. It's green, but it's soft. Okay, it looks good on the inside. It doesn't smell like that other one. All right, let's see. It's nice and, the inside of it feels right. Take the rind off. All right, let's see. Oh. Not good. Okay. Man, that's sad. All right, I'm gonna try maybe one more. There's a lot of moisture in those. If you know what I'm doing wrong with cantaloupe, please let me know. All right, let's try this little one. Okay, maybe third time's a charm. We'll see. Looks good. Get the seeds out. Just like the others, it feels ripe on the inside. Okay. Oh, nope. Sorry for you to see me spitting something out. Not good. Okay. I'm going to call the cantaloupe a complete loss. And I will just have to buy cantaloupe from a local farmer. We live in the middle of a Amish or Mennonite. I'm not really sure the difference between the two, and I think we have both around here. But we live in the middle of an Amish community. And I mean, our neighbors drive horse and buggy. It's pretty awesome to hear the clippity-clop of the horses go down the pavement, and you know, the neighbor kids come by with their little horse and cart, and it's pretty special to live here. But with that, they're farmers, and they grow and sell lots of yummy fruits and vegetables. So I can get cantaloupe from one of them. Okay, the next thing I have to do is okra. All right, I've just got 4 little okras here. Let me rinse them off real quick. I'm thinking it's not a good gardening year. Thought it was going to be great, and it's just, I don't know. Some days I think it's not. Last year my okra got to be 9 feet tall before it even started producing. This year's okra, it's maybe 3 feet tall, and it's already producing okra, which is good because I don't like okra. I don't eat okra. I think if I could, one of these days I want a freeze dryer, and I think I'd like to try freeze dried okra. But until then, I pickle it and I gift it to our preacher, and he loves hot and spicy pickled okra. So what I do, I have a pickle brine started in 1 jar. It's vinegar and water, salt, some garlic and some dill, and I take off the tippy tip of the okra and the cap of the okra, and I'm throwing these in. And the okra's only coming on like 3 or 4 pieces at a time. I don't want it to go bad before I get enough to pickle. So as I get them, I prepare them and I throw them into this jar of brine. And when I get a full jar, I will then throw in a chopped up jalapeno, and I will process this in the hot water bath canner to seal the lid, and we will have 1 quart of hot and spicy pickled okra. All right, there we go. I'm gonna get that back into the refrigerator to sit and wait for more okra. Okay. It took me a while to realize that I could be preserving our food, our garden fresh food, little bits at a time. I don't have to wait until I have a bushel basket of something in order to get that food preserved and either in the freezer or on the shelf. And so once I figured that out, it was like my whole world opened up. Oh my gosh, I can do so much, little bits along the way, and I'm not overwhelmed later when things are coming in by the bushel basket. So like with these tomatoes, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get these peeled, which they're still thawing. I need to like lay them out on a cookie sheet so that they're not all clumped together and they'll thaw faster. I'll do that next. I can get these going, put them in a electric roasting pan, let them cook overnight, getting the, you know, a lot of the liquid, the water and the juices evaporated, so it'll thicken up. And then tomorrow morning, I can put that pasta sauce into jars, put it through the hot water bath canner, and I'm done with it. I could do the same thing if I was making salsa, or if I was just making tomato sauce. Last year I did ketchup that way, pizza sauce that way. I don't think I made pasta sauce or salsa last year. The year before I had made so much of it that we're still eating that. But I like to use both of those as gifts. And so I don't have enough left on the shelf to get us through the next year plus gifts. So I am going to go ahead and start with pasta sauce. If I have another bunch of tomatoes, which looking at my plants, I think I will, then I will do a batch of salsa to use for gifts also. I think I probably have enough canned tomatoes, for soups and chilies and things, just for us to get us through the next year until gardening season comes back around. Okay, I'm going to lay these tomatoes out, and not sure what I need to do next. I was really hopeful on these. I'm gonna go ahead and chop up these cantaloupes and get them out to the chickens. That'll get them out of the kitchen, and the mess will be out there and not in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish that up, get the tomatoes laid out on a baking sheet, and I'll be back. All right, guys, let's check the pumpkin. All right, I'm gonna set you down here. Get you down as low as I can get you, all right? And I'm gonna pull one out and we will see if it is fork tender. I will tell you, it smells amazing in here. Ooh, I think it's ready. Okay, it smells like I've been baking pumpkin bread. Okay, all right, I'm gonna turn the camera so you can, and there it is. 3 Geet pumpkins roasted. There's a little bit of caramelization over here. They're fork tender. So now what I'll do is let them cool, and then we will scoop the fleshy parts off of the peel. All right, guys, we are back at it with this Geet pumpkin. It did roast for about an hour and 20 minutes. Now it is, it's completely cooled. It's completely fork tender. And I'm going to actually use this ice cream scoop. I don't know if it's an old-fashioned kind or not. I think I got it at a yard sale or a auction or something. Anyway, it's kind of a flat spoon, so it really works well for scooping the flesh of this pumpkin. All right, let me bring you down closer and see what I'm doing. All right, and I'm going to be scooping the flesh into this measuring cup. I need to know how much pulp or pumpkin flesh that I end up with, because I'm getting a little bit of the skin with it. Because of the different recipes that I make, I need to know if I have enough for multiple packages or whatever. My zucchini bread recipe takes 2 cups of zucchini. So I know when I'm packaging zucchini, I need to put them in 2-cup packages. My pumpkin bread recipe, I will have to look up because it's been a while since I've made it. I don't remember the measurement it takes. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep scooping pulp out of the peel. Now I could have worked ahead of time to peel all of this and just roasted the chunks. I find it easier to do it this way. Sometimes pumpkins are difficult to peel. And so this way, I just scoop it out. All right. I don't want to miss any though. I missed a little bit over here. But with it being so fork tender also, it's easy to get into the rind and end up scooping part of the peel or part of the rind with it. And I don't want that. Probably wouldn't be a bad thing, but I don't want that part. Now this one had some green in it. I'm going to kind of scoop around that. I don't know if that was just a part of the pumpkin that didn't ripen at the same, same amount as the other parts, or it didn't look like there was a bad spot there, but it's not good to eat green potatoes. I don't want to eat a green pumpkin either. Probably be okay, but better be safe than sorry. you don't have one of these flat spoons, you could definitely use a knife or just a soup spoon, cereal spoon. I feel like I'm missing some of the pulp. Well, but that one I got some of the peel with it. If you've never had pumpkin pie made with freshly roasted and then frozen pumpkin, you need to try it. It is so far better than what you get in the can. And what's in the can is fine. I've used it for years. But when I have the opportunity to make my own, there's definitely a difference in the taste. It's funny, my husband, he'll say, why do you go to all that trouble when you can just go to the grocery store and buy a can of pumpkin or a can of whatever else I'm preserving? But then when he tasted the fresh pumpkin made into a pie, he was sold. All right. I don't know, maybe it would be easier to try to peel this ahead of time, but because I feel like I'm missing a lot of it for fear that I get too close to the peel. Okay, so with what else we've been doing today, oh, there's some more of that green. I'm gonna go around that. The tomatoes are almost thawed to the point that we can slip the skins off and get them into the roasting pan. The other bucket of tomatoes is just waiting for me to peel them. And honestly, I've just been waiting to make one big mess instead of two messes. So I'll get those peeled when the frozen ones are thawed and ready. And I've gathered up all my spices and herbs and things that I need for the pasta sauce. There's a few seeds left in that one. And I've got it sitting over there ready. So what I'm gonna do, once I have all the tomatoes peeled and in the roasting pan, which I'll probably do that here pretty soon, I'm going to put it out on the back porch. It's an electric roaster. I've got an outlet out there so that I don't have that heat in here. And before I go to bed tonight, I will add the peppers and the onions and the garlic and all the herbs and spices. And I will turn it down on low and I will just let it simmer all night. Tomorrow morning, I will be able to run my immersion blender through it because we like a smoother sauce. I don't mind it chunky, but other people in our family don't care for that. And so I will run my immersion blender through it, get it jarred up, and get it canned. I was hoping to have 2 roasters going. I think I showed you at the beginning of the video, I had bought a roaster at an estate sale for like $7.50, but in looking at it, it's going to need some major cleaning. It is very sticky, greasy, so I'm gonna have to spend some time degreasing the roaster. And in the second roaster, I was going to do one with pasta sauce, and then the other one I was going to get going with ham and beans. I've got a big ham bone in the freezer, and really we need to be getting the freezer emptied out of all this because we have a cow coming, and I'm going to have room to put all that beef. So trying to get some things out of the freezer and processed eat up what's in the freezer that needs to be eaten up or that cannot be processed, and the only way to use it is just to eat it. So the ham and beans will have to be a different day. But in that thought, I wanted to cook up a big pot of ham and beans and then can that. We like ham and beans, and to make a batch, I mean, it's not hardly worth making unless you're going to make a big batch, and then a big batch is too much for us. So I've not done this before, but I want to try making that big batch and canning part of it, putting it on the pantry shelf, and then the next time we want ham and beans, I don't have to make such a huge batch. I can just grab a quart jar, and that would give us enough for dinner, and then probably enough for lunch the next day, especially if I paired it with maybe some cornbread, which I usually do. All right, we are almost finished with this. I'll grab a little bit more off of there. Okay, that's it, and it looks like, let's see, it looks like I got about roughly 6 cups. So I'm gonna go check my cookbook real quick to see what I need to have this packaged, what increments I need to package this in. And I'm gonna get these peels to the, probably just to the garbage pile. I don't think the chickens would enjoy just the peels. And I will bring you back. All right, guys, I am going to do 1 cup pumpkin. I looked at my recipe, and my pumpkin roll recipe takes not quite a cup, and then my pumpkin bread recipe takes 1 cup. So I've got my little sandwich bags. Let's see, let's bring you closer. And I'm just going to take a 1 cup measurement. I'm not going to pack it tight. Whew, it is going to be messy. All right, 1 cup of pumpkin. And just like I did the zucchini on a different video, when I shred it up, I put it in, I do that when some of them are 2 cups and some are 1 cups, depending on what recipe I'm going to use. But I flatten it out, and I get as much of the air out of it as I can, and I'm going to slide this into a freezer bag that I have written on the front the date, which is July 2023, 1 cup Geet pumpkin. I just want to remember that this was the Geet Okasawa pumpkin that I was using. We haven't eaten any of this kind yet, so we may find that we don't even like it, but we won't know unless we try. So I'm going to make sure that I keep my bags of pumpkin labeled accordingly. If we don't like it, I won't grow it again. I was sharing in a garden video the Geet pumpkin I tried growing last year, and I think there was just 1 or 2 out there by the end of the season, and they rotted on the plant, so I didn't even get any of that. And then this year I had the 3, but the plant died. Oops, there's a piece of peel in that. I want to grab that out of there. I had 3 on the plant. 1 of them was turning soft, so I only got to use half of that one. And I went ahead and harvested these before they rotted with the plant. So hopefully it'll be something we like. They're pretty neat to grow. They're a different size and shape than what you're used to seeing in pumpkins. there's another piece of peel in there. What is that? A piece of peel. All right, I wasn't very good at peeling. Get the air out as much as possible. Now, one of the reasons I squish these out flat, they take up very little space, so they stack nicely in the freezer. And also, when it's time to use them, because they're so flat and so thin, they thaw very, very quickly. Ah, there's a piece of peel. Goodness sakes. Well, I'm glad I'm packaging this the way I am so that I can see that I have missed a bunch of the peel. It's all right, it gives me another chance to get it off of there. Okay. All right. Since I measured out, or could see in my measuring cup here that I had 6 cups, I got out 6 baggies. And it looks like that'll work. This one's not a very full cup. I'm going to grab another little chunk or two here. Oops. Or throw it on the countertop. That works too. I've said this before, but my Aunt Phyllis, she has since passed. She passed away when I was, gosh, I think I was probably about 14 or 15. She was an amazing cook. And she would say, the bigger the mess, the better the cook. And I think she would be very proud of my cooking because I am so incredibly messy. All right. Now, the next pumpkin out of the garden I want to process are probably the Blue Hubbard. Those I planted for 2 reasons. Number one, they're supposed to be delicious. Well, I guess 3 reasons. Second reason is they're beautiful. They're a blue color. And after I planted them, I found out that they are good to work as a trap crop where the bugs prefer the Blue Hubbard instead of the other plants. No, that didn't work at all. The squash bugs have annihilated my pumpkin patch, and they didn't seem to care what kind of pumpkin they were on. So, all right, so next will be the pasta sauce, and I'll be back. Okay, I wanted to show you peeling tomatoes using the blanching method. And so what I've got is a bucket here of fresh tomatoes. Some of them have a few bad spots, but that's okay. We'll cut that out. I am going to go to their bottom end and just score an X. And I'm going to put it down into boiling hot water. They don't have to be in there for very long. And I'll just do 3 or 4 at a time. When they come out of the boiling water, I'll leave them for a couple minutes. When they come out of the boiling water, I'm then going to put them into an ice water bath. So what it does is it loosens up the skins. And okay, you can see on this one, it has split the skin right there. So I'm going to put that in the cold water, the ice water. That stops the cooking process. I'm not looking to cook the tomatoes. I just want to loosen the skins. Okay. Get another batch started. And on this one, I'm not really putting the X on the bottom end. I'm putting it on the side. just because that's where it works out on that tomato. It's got a bad spot right there on the bottom. So, whew, I can't get too many more in there. My pot's full. All right, we'll do 3 in that batch. And just wait for a minute. Now I want to show you here, okay, the skins have split, and all we have to do, I do use a little knife just to help get hold of it, but the skins just fall right off. Okay, now this is a yellow tomato, and it has a lot of green pigment in the flesh. It's not an underripe tomato. It is ready to eat. I don't remember if this was the Dr. Witchy or the Kellogg's Breakfast. I think they were both a yellow tomato. And then I can just cut out the core. And the tomato's not hot because we only had it in there for a couple minutes, and then we put it into the ice water bath. And that tomato is ready to go in the pot. Okay, I'm going to keep peeling, keep scoring, and keep peeling, and then I'll bring you back. All right, look at how much that one has separated from the skins. Oops, that one got away from me. Usually I have a big slotted spoon that I dish these, or scoop these out with. That one has split really nicely, but it is in the dishwasher. So if I was doing a bigger batch of tomatoes, I would use a much bigger pot for the boiling water and a much bigger bowl for the ice water bath. But I just had, what was that, maybe 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 tomatoes to do, and so it was just as easy to do this small batch and be done. All of those tomatoes that were frozen that I had over here thawing, they're still a little bit frozen, but they were thawed enough that I could go ahead and pull the skins off of them. Look at how easy that just comes right off. Look at that. Oops, I'm going to adjust the camera a little bit. I've got you a little too low. There we go. How's that? Is that better? Okay. All right. Cut out the core. Now the top of this tomato wasn't perfect. It had a little bit of a bad spot there, so I wanted to cut around that. This one didn't split very well. I'm actually going to start with the core on this one. See if we can get it to pull from the top. Yeah, this one probably needed another minute in the boiling water, but that's okay. I'll get it peeled and in the pot. Just take a little more effort on this one. Cut off that little spot right there, and it's good to go. Okay. Now this one has some bad spots, so I'm going to cut that bad spot out first. Now this tomato probably wouldn't be very good for slicing and eating just because it's got these couple of bad spots, but to use for canning, where I'm going to be cutting it up and using the immersion blender on it, get rid of those bad spots, and whatever's left is still good to use. And that's kind of an icky spot right there too. That's all right. There's still a lot left on this tomato. I've probably got this many more tomatoes out there left ready to harvest that are in the garden. Look at this one. This is called a Cherokee Purple. And so it's kind of purple on the bottom and has green shoulders. It's very pretty. And I like to use a variety of tomatoes when I'm making any of my tomato dishes, really, the pasta sauce or the salsa, because you get a variety of colors, and then also it adds to the complexity of the flavor too. You may think this is crazy, but I do not like to eat tomatoes raw. I only like them if I'm cooking with them. Once in a while, if I've got a real sweet tomato, finely diced, I'll put that like on my taco, but not usually. All right, so I'm going to get these warming in this roaster oven. I'm going to put it out on the porch, and at bedtime, which I probably won't bring you along for that part, but at bedtime I'm going to add all the seasonings. And what I'll do is I will put the recipe in the description below the video, and then if I think of it, I will type it in as a caption also. And then tomorrow I'll bring you back and we will get this canned up. Okay, I've got 3 more tomatoes to go. Good morning, friends. It is the next day. I will admit I did not add the seasonings or the spices and herbs last night before I went to bed. Honestly, I got busy cooking supper, and you can see I still have my mess out here, and didn't think another thing about it. That's one bad thing to putting, one bad aspect of cooking on the back porch. If I don't see it, I kind of forget about it. So this morning, we're going to add all of the herbs and seasonings that need to be put in. We need to add some lemon juice. And then we will, excuse me, goodness, a little froggy this morning. Then we will use the immersion blender and blend it all up, put it in jars, and process. So this did simmer all night. It smells amazing. And so in here we do have the tomatoes, the peppers, the onions, and the garlic. All right, so I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see the recipe. This recipe is from A Taste of Home magazine from summer of 2017, and I love this pasta sauce recipe. It is something, it's not a very thick recipe, which is one reason I started cooking it in my electric roaster so that it could cook down longer. The first time I made it, I just cooked it on the stovetop. Takes about an hour and delicious. But I like that thicker sauce. So we're going to add, let's see, we need 1 cup of the lemon juice doesn't go in here, it goes into the jars. Okay, that's fine. But we do need to add 1 cup of oil. So I'm going to go ahead and take this lid off. It specifies canola oil. I'm just using vegetable oil. 1 cup. All right, 1 cup of oil. And we need some sugar, 2/3 cup of sugar. Okay. All right, let's see. It's a 1/4 and an 1/8. Here's a 1/3. Okay. I bought myself some long-handled measuring cups. I'm so excited about these. So many times I am reaching down into jars to get ingredients. I do want to find long-handled measuring spoons, and I have seen them once. Didn't buy them. I felt like they were too expensive, but now I wish I had bought them. And so since then I have looked them up online, and whoo, they are pricey. I should have bought them when I saw them. All right, a 1/4 cup of salt. Okay. I know that seems like a lot of salt, but this is a big batch of pasta sauce. All right, let's see. Garlic's already in there. Dried oregano. Okay, I have some homegrown, home-dehydrated oregano. I don't know if I have enough of this. I do have, excuse me. Well, okay. I think that my other wooden measuring spoon must be dirty. This is a half. Okay, I need 4 teaspoons, so I need 8. You know what? I am going to just put that all in there and kind of give it a crush. I don't think that was a full 8, so I'm going to put in a little bit of the store-bought. Okay. Most of the time, I don't really measure much. I just kind of eyeball it. Okay, then I need dried parsley, and I have homegrown, home-dehydrated parsley, 2 teaspoons, so I'm just going to grab some out and give it a crush. It'll all get blended up with the immersion blender anyway. And then 2 teaspoons of dried basil, homegrown, home-dehydrated basil. Okay. The recipe does call for crushed red pepper flakes. I don't like red pepper flakes, so I am not going to do that. I need some Worcestershire sauce. Let's see, 2 teaspoons. Okay, again, I'm gonna eyeball it. Okay. And 2 bay leaves. Now I can't remember if I have to remove the bay leaves or not. Let's see. Yeah. So I'm just not even going to put the bay leaves in there since I forgot to do it last night. I would need to remove those this morning, and since I'm to the point where I'm ready to just blend this up, I'm going to leave those out. And honestly, most of the time I forget to put those in anyway. Okay, all right, I'm going to give you a shot of what this, yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay, time to blend it up. All right. Now this might get kind of noisy, so if it's too noisy, I'll just shut the camera off and then turn back on when I'm finished. Oh yeah, that's noisy. Be right back. Okay, so I've got it mostly blended. I do need to do a little bit more blending, but I forgot to add tomato paste. I don't have any tomato paste, but what I do have is last season when I made tomato soup, I strained off the seeds and the skins and I dehydrated those to make a tomato powder. And so I'm going to use this tomato powder to thicken my pasta sauce. So I'm going to go in with probably, I don't know, this is 1/8 of a cup. I'm going to do 1/4 of a cup, so 2 of these, and then we'll see how it goes. Okay. It's important to me to be able to use every part of the vegetable that I'm using, if that makes any sense. It bothered me for a long time throwing the skins and things away. I thought there's got to be something I can do with those. And I saw a YouTube video where somebody was dehydrating the skins and turning it into a powder for thickening. And I thought, yay, that is what I'm going to do. All right. I'm gonna do some more blending and I'll be right back. Okay, I am gonna add another 1/4 of a cup. And it smells so good. All right, let me get that stirred in. I don't think I need to blend that. All my tomatoes are well blended. I think I can just get this stirred in. It's not as thick as I was hoping for. I think I probably could let it cook a while longer, but I personally don't mind the thickness that it is. I have a family member who prefers something very, very thick, but that's okay. He can eat this the way it is. And it may thicken up some in the canning process. All right, I am going to give this a taste, and we will see if it needs anything. Okay. It is so very hot. That is good. I don't think it needs anything, and I am not missing the bay leaves. Okay, I'm gonna get my jars ready. I'm gonna get my lemon juice ready, and we're gonna get this jarred up and into the hot water bath canner. I'm gonna clean up my measuring spoons and things, put my herbs away too. Okay, so we are ready to put this into jars. I'm going to prepare 4 jars at a time. My canner will hold, I think, 7 or 8 quarts. I can't remember for sure. I do have a pitcher filling with hot water. I've got my canner back here with a little bit of hot water in it, and I've got it turned on. I want to put hot jars into hot water to avoid breakage. That is one surefire way to break your jars, is to put either cold into hot or hot into cold. And so I do need to put, what did I do with my, now I just had, there it is, a measuring spoon. Okay, so I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of lemon juice into each jar. This helps level out the pH, or the acidity level. I don't know why I couldn't just add it to the big pot, but it did specify to put it in the jar, so I'll do that. Okay, all right, grab me a ladle, and we will just start ladling this up. Oh, now I'm hungry. It is 9 o'clock in the morning. I have not even been out to the chickens yet because it is storming and raining so hard, and I'm so thankful for the rain. But I thought I'm going to get this on the stove and processing, and then I'll run out to the chickens because I'm going to get soaked when I go out there. Okay, let me show you. All right, isn't that gorgeous? It looks so creamy and so yummy. All right, I am gonna keep getting these jarred up, put on clean flats, well, wipe the rims. That's an important step. Wipe the rims of the jars, put on clean flats and lids, and rings, I mean. Get them in the canner, and I can't remember how long this process is for. Let me look real quick. Okay, so it needs to process for 40 minutes. So once the canner comes to a boil, I'll set the timer for 40 minutes, and then I'll be able to remove them then. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get all this into one canner. I don't even know if I'm going to have a full canner. The recipe does say it makes 9 quarts, but so much of that is dependent on the size of your tomatoes and things like that. So we'll just wait and see how many I get. Either way, I will let you see the finished product. Okay, friends, we did get 9 quarts of pasta sauce. the 9th one would not fit into the canner. So I will either put this in the fridge and run it through the canner the next time I am canning something, or I could freeze it, but most likely we will have this for dinner one night this week. I want to bring you down and show you what we got. Okay, so you'll notice that they have separated the juice from the pulp, and that's okay. When I'm ready to serve, just give it a shake or a stir in the pot, and it will be delicious. I was excited that I actually did get 9 quarts. I really didn't know that I would. So that's where I'm going to leave the video today. I am so happy that you decided to come and hang out with me when I do some food preservation. I'm afraid this probably is going to be a long video, but I'll try to edit and shorten it a little bit. And if you like my videos, please hit the like button on YouTube, share my video on YouTube or on Facebook, and leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. And I bid you a good day. Happy canning!